Hello, and welcome to our demonstration of Microsoft Dynamics. Today we'll be talking about correspondence management, specifically an enterprise correspondence management system powered by Microsoft Dynamics. We'll show how organizations use Dynamics and its tight integration with Office applications to easily track and manage correspondence. In this demonstration, we'll cover three key areas: tracking activities related to correspondence, categorizing and assigning responses to correspondence, and working with charts and dashboards. Although we're only showing these three areas today, keep in mind that Dynamics excels in all aspects of managing correspondence. Here is a process overview for a typical correspondence management workflow. As you can see, there are several stages that a response to a piece of correspondence must go through. In our first scenario, we'll have Alan Steiner, who is a correspondence manager, receive and review a piece of correspondence that's been scanned in. He'll then use Dynamics to assign the correspondence for action. When Alan Steiner signs on to Dynamics, his homepage is set to his dashboard of Correspondence Manager KPIs. This is a really rich dashboard that allows him to get instant insights into key performance metrics. He's configured his dashboard with charts that show different aspects of the correspondence activities that he's interested in. The social pane displays the latest feed of what's happening across the enterprise related to correspondence activity. So now let's show how Alan would use his dashboard to go about his daily responsibilities. Every piece of correspondence in Dynamics is thought of as a case. So Alan will go into the case by status funnel chart to review everything that's going on with all of the active cases. Right within the chart, he can quickly filter the view for just the types of cases he's interested in. In this example, he filters on cases that are in the review stage. Then on the left, he'll get a list of all of the cases that meet that criteria. Now Alan will click on one of those cases, and Alan is presented with the information-rich user interface that Dynamics is known for. At the top of the screen, he can see the name of this case is DOS request. Then under that, he sees all of the stages a correspondence response will go through. We saw the workflow for this demonstration earlier. In our example, you can see this case is in the initial stage called In Review, and Alan must find the contact to complete this stage before it can move on to the next stage. Alan does this by opening up the original correspondence for this case. In this example, it's a letter that's been previously scanned. He'll open it up and display it side by side with the case so he can fill out the appropriate information in Dynamics. He sees that the letter is from Tamir Salah. Alan will go back to Dynamics and he'll do a quick search to see if Tamir exists in the system, and if so, associate Tamir with this case. He'll also take a little blurb from the letter and update the description of this case, just so the next caseworker has a better understanding of what the letter was about. Now it's time to move on to the next stage. He'll click on the next stage. Now you can see his task for this stage is to assign this case to one of the action offices. He'll assign it to Alicia Tomber. Given the nature of the correspondence, Alan knows the appropriate action office for a response and that Alicia is the coordinator for that office. Now that it's assigned to Alicia, Dynamics will automatically create an Outlook task for Alicia, and it will send this case to the correct action office queue for further processing. In this next scenario, we'll see how Alicia Tomer, who is an Action Office coordinator, reviews the case that she's been assigned, and then she'll coordinate with other members of her Action Office to draft a response. When Alicia signs on to Dynamics, you can see her homepage is the Action Office dashboard, and she's customized it according to her work as an Action Office coordinator. Remember that all of these charts are interactive, so she can quickly access the cases that she needs. So now let's see Alicia work her cases in Dynamics. On the right-hand side of the screen, she sees that she's got a few new tasks that she's been assigned. She'll click on the case that Alan just assigned to her, and she quickly sees the next step in working this case is to draft a response. Because Dynamics is tightly integrated with Office, Alicia can just select a Word template to start her response. She selects the standard Action Office response template And now Dynamics will send all of the pertinent information about this case to Word so that much of the document can be pre-populated. Because she's using a template, all of the standard verbiage is also there. The only thing Alicia has to do here is save the document and upload it to the system. She goes back to Dynamics and selects Upload. Behind the scenes, it's actually uploading it to a SharePoint document library. Yet another example of the tight integration between Microsoft Dynamics and other Microsoft products, in this case SharePoint. Now Alicia needs to coordinate with other members of her Action Office on the response. She knows that as soon as she uploads the response, SharePoint kicks off an automated workflow that assigns appropriate tasks to members of her team. Here, she'll open up the SharePoint workflow to see how the response coordination is coming along. Alicia is able to see that this response is waiting on 3 members of her team to concur on the review. She can also see the specific reviews for this case and all of the workflow history associated with this response. This concludes our demonstration of a Microsoft Dynamics-based correspondence management system. In this demonstration, we showed how you can easily track correspondence in Dynamics. We also showed how to categorize and assign correspondence to the appropriate offices. And lastly, we showed how you can get to the information you need through interactive charts and dashboards. Keep in mind that the demonstration today showed working with scanned pieces of correspondence. But there are other forms of correspondence, such as email, phone calls, voicemail, and so forth. In fact, because Dynamics seamlessly integrates with Outlook and Skype for Business, you can work with those forms of correspondence as well, without ever having to leave Dynamics. I thank you for your time today, and I hope this was helpful.